Hello friends, welcome to EduTap. In this video, we are going to discuss about learnings and analysis from SEBI Grade A Phase 1 Paper 2 exam. In the previous video on the same topic as in learning and analysis, we discussed about the learnings and analysis from Phase 2 Paper 2. So this is about Phase 1 Paper 2. In case you have not watched the earlier video in which we did analysis for Phase 2 Paper 2, the link is given above. You can click upon that and watch that video, which is equally useful for you, right? So be with me for next 20 to 25 minutes. I'm sure this session is going to be very useful, insightful, maybe an eye-opener for you also in case you are preparing for SEBI Grade A exam. And I also beg pardon for my bad throat. I might not be able to give my best, but nonetheless, the session will be having a lot of benefits for you. So first of all, we will do overall exam analysis, then we will do subject-wise analysis. And I hope you remember before even I start that Phase 1 Paper 2 was really weird. I mean, when people came out of the exam, they were not sad, though they were happy. Especially those who did not study anything, because they were also able to score good marks because paper was not on expected lines. I mean, most of the paper, I would say, cannot be even tagged to the syllabus what was there for Phase 1 Paper 2. But anyways, let's start with the analysis, and I'll tell you during my analysis that how many questions were from the syllabus, out from the syllabus, all these things we will be discussing. So first of all, if we try to see number of questions subject wise, now there are six standard subjects in SEBI syllabus for Paper 2. Economics 2 questions, Commerce and Accounts 10 questions, Costing 3 questions, Finance 18, Management 4, Company Law 3. So you can see that even within these standard subjects, Commerce and Accounts and Finance, I mean around more than 50%, around about 60% questions from these two sections, whereas Economics, Costing, Management and Company Law, they contributed really less number of questions. But something which was really unexpected, and that happened in this exam, that there were even questions from computer, schemes, general studies. I mean, there were 2 questions related to constitution, and there were some miscellaneous questions also, I mean, which cannot be tagged to any of the topics. So from computer, for example, there are some questions on your screen. Which of the following is a computer related crime? Which language is used for creating a web page? The answer was HTML. Start or restart of computer is known as what? The answer was boot. So you can see computer, I mean, not even far off you can make any connection of computer related questions in the exam, but they were asked. Then there were some questions from schemes also, right? There was a question on that which of the following campaign is aimed to improve the efficiency of welfare services intended for girls in India. I think it was Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao. Which animal is displayed in Make in India logo? Again, now somebody would say that these questions are from current affairs. I don't think so. I mean, even if they were supposed to be asked, I mean, the right place would have been GA section in paper 1, not in paper 2, right? So that was about schemes. Then moving on to general studies, guys. Here, if you see, as per the Constitution of India, the question was asked, who decides whether a financial bill is a money bill or ordinary bill? Again, I don't think it can be connected to any portion of our syllabus in paper 2. Agriculture comes under which list? Again, it cannot be connected to any part of our syllabus. Some people would say that agriculture related question was asked because there was farm protest at that time. It was a hot topic. Maybe if there was one sole question, I would have taken that logic. But then there are a lot of questions which are not connected to syllabus. So we can't say that this question was related to current affairs because agriculture was in news that time. But what about other questions? Why were computer questions asked? Why this question is asked? That financial bill is a money bill and ordinary bill, right? Then miscellaneous questions, full form of BPO. Now who would have any idea that they will ask about BPO, right? Narayan Murthy is the founder of which company? So all these questions, if there is a no consideration, then the agreement is this is from Contract Act. Again, not related to company law at all. So you can see a lot of questions. These are around 10 questions which I feel, again, it is subject to my perception, but I have given you logic that why I feel that these questions were not related to syllabus in any way. Even remotely, they were not related to syllabus. So I would say overall the paper was really unexpected, very skewed distribution, not a standard distribution across sections, and especially these questions which were out of context, computer, schemes, general studies. This was something totally on the unexpected lines. But based upon difficulty level, if you say, the paper was rather easy, because here 33 questions were easy. Again, it is subject to my perception, right? Somebody might have felt 35 questions are easy, somebody might have felt 28 questions are easy. But again, it is just based on experience. You can do plus minus 10 here and there, plus minus 10%, right? But overall, this is what I feel is with respect to difficulty level. If we talk about moderate difficulty level questions, they were 11, and very difficult, I would say 6. Right. Now, what is the reason that though the paper was really skewed, unexpected, still we are saying that so many questions were easy? The reason is the same. Because first of all, these 10 questions, right? I mean, the questions related to computer, even these miscellaneous questions, these are really easy. I mean, I think many of if these questions were not there, they would not have been able to clear this paper. So in fact, these 10 questions help people to clear the paper by scoring around 15 to 20 marks out of these 10 questions. Right. So overall, even though paper was on unexpected lines, but it was rather easy. It was based upon common sense. Right. That's why a lot of people who have not even studied, say, even for a week, they were able to clear phase 1. But that's a separate story, that what happened to them in phase 2. Right. Now, what were the weightage of numerical asked? In phase 1 paper 2, there were not much numericals. There was only one numerical, and that was from costing. Otherwise, from finance and commerce and accounts, there was no numerical. Right. So does that mean that phase 1 is not meant for numerical and only phase 2 is meant for numerical? Again, do not base any decision just upon the phase 1 of last year. It was totally screwed up. So you shall always go for integrated preparation. That's my view, because the syllabus is same. You anyways need to prepare for phase 2, and in phase 1 also, next time they can ask a difficult paper. So always go for an integrated preparation. Do not think that numericals will be not there in phase 1. Now let us move to subject wise analysis, right? So first of all, I'll do the analysis of economics section. So in economics, as I told you, there were very less number of questions. Right here you can see on your screen from which topic how many questions were asked. So there was just one question from demand and supply, which was rather easy. From all other topics like national income, Keynesian approach, consumption function, investment function, multiplier, accelerator, inflation, business cycle, balance of payment, there was no question at all from any other topic. In fact, there was one question on demographic trends, which I'm not sure even if belongs to economics, but I've tagged it to economics. Right. So there was a very abnormal distribution. There was one question on demographic trends. So if we try to tag it to economics, it was completely out of syllabus. Next, commerce and account section. The commerce and account section, there was good number of questions, 10. Right. If you see syllabus wise, there was one question from accounting as financial information system, that was about tally. Then there were two questions from income statement and one question on ratio analysis, and there was one question on preparation and presentation of final company accounts. Right. And I forgot to tell you one thing, guys, in case you're looking for these actual questions, right? The link is given in the description of this video, where you can click and you can go to the actual paper, right? And there you will find all the questions. Here I'm just doing the analysis. There you will find all the questions, and these question numbers are actually the question numbers in that paper which I'm talking about, which we have framed for you based upon memory, right? Anyways, coming back to this. So the point I want to make is that from this syllabus, it seems that only 4 or 5 questions were asked, but from where were the rest 5 questions? Because there are total 10 questions. So if you see, there was one question on bills of exchange, partnership accounts, rectification of errors, recording transactions, and one more on partnership accounts. So these cannot be tagged directly to syllabus, but these are either core topics or basic topics of commerce and accounts. For example, bills of exchange, rectification of errors, recording of transactions, that is debit and credit. These are core of commerce and accounts. You cannot proceed without understanding of these concepts. So many questions were from the basic topics which were not in syllabus, though I think if you would have read any book or if you have done any course, it would have been covered there. It was covered in our course very specifically, very holistically, very comprehensively. Right. So this is done. Then there was no numerical from commerce and accounts. There was only one numerical, as I told you, from costing. Overall, if one would have prepared for these topics like bills of exchange, rectification errors, recording transactions, though they were not in syllabus, if one would have prepared for such topics, this would have been a really cracker of a section. Very good scoring opportunities here, right? There were almost 6 easy, 3 moderate and 1 difficult out of 10. So that is about commerce and account section. Now moving on to the costing section, guys. In costing section again, in the table, here you can see how many questions were there from each topic. From lean system and innovation, there was one question. From marginal costing, there was one question. It was a numerical basically. Very easy question, very easy numerical. But then there was one question on labor cost. Now labor cost again is not something that is directly part of your syllabus, but in costing, studying about material cost, labor cost forms part of the basics. You cannot proceed without understanding of these topics. So this was again covered in any standard book or in any course, even in our course, right? So if anybody would have left it, then he would have felt the pain in the exam. But otherwise, I think most of the students did this and they were able to solve the question. Right. So overall only 3 questions, very less number of questions, though we could have expected around 7-8 questions out of costing, but only 3 questions and only 1 numerical. Overall, again, all the questions were easy. They were not difficult. So I think if somebody would have studied it, they would have been able to solve all these 3 questions. Coming on to the finance section, in finance section, as I told you, a huge number of questions were asked. There were around 18 questions from finance. Some are here on your screen. Rest are in the next slide. So overall, I think there were 4 questions from primary and secondary markets. There were 3 questions or 2 questions from derivatives, 5 questions from roles and functions of regulatory bodies, 5 questions from direct and indirect taxes. Right. So this was something like that. Maybe here it was 3 only. 3. So 4, 3, 7 to 9, 5, 14 questions like this from these 4 topics only. From any topics like finance commission, fiscal policy, FRBM, PPP, alternate sources of finance, financial inclusion, there was no question, right? And that's okay. I mean, some topics they did not ask any question. That's okay, but they didn't ask even any numerical from this part. But the point to note is that there were some questions which were from the topics which though are covered in any standard course, at least in our course, like question from mutual funds or risk management, but they were not part of syllabus. Right. And there were 2 questions from the IT Act, which again is not part of syllabus anyway. Right. So here again the learning is what I'm repeating it again, that in many of the subjects, there are many basic topics which are not mentioned in your syllabus, but they would be in any standard book or any standard course or a good course. So do not try to leave those topics thinking that no, you can do away with these topics because they are not in syllabus. These are competitive exams. The syllabus is just for taking an idea. I mean, they will never go line to line by syllabus while framing a question paper. Right. So many people keep asking us, should we do mutual funds for SEBI? Don't do, but that's your risk. Always understand that. Okay, overall out of 18, 11 were easy, right? 5 were moderate. There were not any difficult questions. So again, I would say a scoring section if you would have prepared in a right way. Coming to the analysis of management section here, again in the table in front of you, basically the questions and the topics are given. So there was 1 question from motivation and 3 questions from general management. General management basically means this part: management, its nature and scope, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, role of a manager. All these comes under general management. So 3 questions were from this part, right? And 1 question from motivation. Overall 4 questions, 3 easy, 1 moderate. So you can just guess that this was an easy question. So overall less number of expected questions. Again, I mean, a standard should have been 7-8 questions at least, but only 4 questions. But the point to notice that the questions that were asked in management were not most expected questions. They were not, there were no question on theories. I mean, they were very awkward questions. Like for example, what is O in SWOT? Obviously, you would have known it if you would have read. But then this is not a standard question. There are a lot of good conceptual questions that can be framed from management. Then I think one was on CPM, that what is CPM called critical path method. So there was questions like this. There were no quality questions, I would say. Some conceptual questions related to theories, some concepts. So it was more or less, I would say, again, management section not up to the satisfaction level. Then moving on to the company law, again in phase 1, I would say company law is one such section for which you devote a lot of time, but it would not have given you that return. There were three questions asked from company law, right? And out of these three also, none was from syllabus directly. None was from syllabus directly. One question was related to chapter 2, incorporation of company law, which was not in syllabus. One question was from chapter 6, registrar of companies of company law, registrar of companies chapter 6, incorporation of company chapter 2. Both of these are not given in your syllabus. If you see the syllabus, nowhere it is given chapter 2 and chapter 6. And one question was on, I would say, basics of company law. It was related to how many schedules are there in company law. The answer was 7. So again, though this was again out of syllabus, but we covered it under basics, because right now before starting company law you need to learn some basics. So we did these basics in our course. So luckily this was something which people could do. So again, I would say something again not unexpected lines. First of all, only 3 questions asked, whereas we were expecting around 7-8 questions. Then out of these 3 also 2 were completely out of syllabus, and one was though easy, but again it was out of syllabus, right? So that is about company law. Now before I close, I want to answer one question, that what could be the reason for such unexpected paper. If you see the phase 2 paper 2, it was real quality paper. I mean, I again salute that person who said, or a group of people who said that phase 2 paper 2, it was real logical. I mean, that paper meant that who has actually worked hard, who has prepared for this exam, could only clear that exam. That was about phase 2 paper 2. But then what could be the reason that they said phase 1 paper 2 at that level? First of all, the questions were completely, I would say, I mean, they were going disarray. There were no standard questions. The weightage was not equal. Then there were some questions from the topics which are not even remotely related to your syllabus. Why did they set up such a paper? So there is a theory which I feel that can be called Anchit Sir's theory. Though again, we can't say that that is right. But what I feel is that if you see the notification for SEBI, there are different streams. Legal stream is there. Journal stream is there, then information technology stream is there. So if I try to see from where those questions which were not expected have been asked, for example, questions related to finance bill, questions related to agriculture comes in which part, static list or concurrent list, that can be tagged to constitution part of syllabus. Then there were some questions from chapter 1, chapter 2, other chapters of company law, which is not there in the syllabus for journal stream, but they are in the syllabus for legal stream. Then if you further go up, there were some computer related questions which can be tagged to syllabus of information technology stream, IT stream. They are meant for, you know, experts in computer. So they would have obviously some computer related things in their syllabus. From there, they would have put such questions. So what I'm trying to say, guys, what I feel is that they messed up phase 1 paper 2 by having a common database of questions for all the streams. Journal stream, legal stream, IT stream. So they might have some common database of questions, or even if it was not intended, it got mixed up, and therefore there were some questions, you can say, in your exam which were not from the syllabus of journal stream but from the syllabus of legal stream or information technology stream. Similarly, there were some questions on IT Act, which is again part of legal stream. There were some questions of some questions related to Contract Act. Contract Act is also here, law of contracts. So I'm not sure how good or how right or wrong this theory is, which I'm trying to sell you out. But there can be a feasibility of that while they were setting paper 1 phase 2, they thought maybe have a common database of questions, or even if they were intending to have a separate database of questions for phase 1 paper 2 of different streams, that might have got jumbled up. But the way they have set phase 2 paper 2, I don't see a reason that why would they set up phase 1 paper 2 like this. Totally unexpected, totally unreliable. I would rate it as 1 out of 10 if I rate other paper as 9 or 9.5 out of 10. That is phase 2 paper 2. Right. So this can be the reason, though I'm not saying that this is the reason. Then next question can be that how shall one prepare for such an exam if it gets repeated next time? I would say you cannot prepare for uncertainties like this. Do not start covering the syllabus for legal stream or information technology stream, then you will be the biggest fool. You cannot prepare for uncertainties like this, because again you have to believe that if such paper comes, the questions will be on tad easier side and you will be able to attempt, because again you have to just qualify. There is no competition based marks there, right? You have to score maximum to get selected there. So you can't prepare for such uncertainties. Accept that fact and keep preparing for actual phase 2 paper 2 or actual syllabus that is given in the notification. Do an integrated prep. Do not try to distribute your preparation for phase 1 I'll read this, for phase 2 paper 2 I'll read this. No, there shall be an integrated preparation. Once you are prepared for paper 2, doesn't matter whether you are appearing in phase 1 or phase 2, you will be able to do good, right? Apart from that, you can go for a lot of MCQs, right? Build accuracy. Accuracy is the key, guys. Without accuracy, I think you will not be able to maximize your score, especially in phase 2. In phase 1 maybe you can qualify, but for phase 2 paper 2 you need a good amount of accuracy, right? And next I would say concentrate on revision. Revision is very important. There are a lot of subjects, 6 subjects in your paper 2 syllabus, so that's a lot of subjects with different concepts, and some are logical, some are factual. So do give a proper emphasis on revision and start early. That would be my message. So that's it, guys. In case you have any query, you can call us on 8146207241, or you can email us at hello@edutab.co.in. We will be happy to assist you. Thank you. I hope this video will give some insights to you and will give you a direction if you're preparing for SEBI Grade A. And if you are aspiring, I think you would have already started. If not, please start. This is the right time. Competition is sky high, so you can't take things for granted. Okay? And when you start, or if you have already started, do watch this video and try to strategize further based upon this video. Have a nice day, and remember, the actual paper which I'm talking about, the link for that is given in the description of this video, and by clicking on that link you will be able to access the actual paper. That is the list of all the 50 questions that I've analyzed in this video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.